Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Ma'am Sri Zulaihati, my primary supervisor, and Ma'am Darma Rika Swaramarinda, my secondary supervisor, as well as esteemed examiners, I extend my respectful greetings. I would like also to acknowledge my fellow students and the audience present. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Syifa Nabila. I am a student of the Office Administration's Education Program, Class of 2021. It is privilege to present my research proposal entitled The Influence of Teaching Style and Creativity of Gen Z Teachers on Student Engagement in the Classroom. To begin, I will explain the background of my results. This is the background. The field of education has undergone significant transformations due to the advancement of information and communication technology. Digital transformation has compelled educational institutions to adopt more interactive and innovative teaching methods. The use of e-learning platforms and artificial intelligence such as Google Classroom or ChatGPT has become increasingly prevalent. In Indonesia, numerous educational institutions have utilized these technologies to improve learning quality. The Indonesian government, through the Ministry of Educational and Agriculture, has also developed various online programs such as Merdeka Mengajar platform to support teaching practices. This demonstrates a strong commitment to leveraging technology in order to enhance access to and quality of education across all levels. Innovation in teaching is essential to address the challenge of education in the digital era. Teachers are now required not to only master subject matter, but also to integrate technology into the teaching learning process to create an interactive, engaging, and effective learning environment. Nonetheless, the success of technology integrations in education is influenced by several factors, including infrastructure, readiness, and then teacher training or the curriculum support. Amidst this dynamic, Indonesia has entered an era in which Generation Z is beginning to dominate the population, according to the 2020 census conducted by Central Agency, or we call it Badan Pusat Statistik. Generation Z accounted for 27.94% of the total populations, equivalent to 74.93 million individuals, and it is categorized as a productive age group. Generation Z, defined as individual born between 1997 and 2012, possesses a unique characteristic. As digital native, they are highly proficient in using technology from an early age and are capable of obtaining information quickly and instantly. With their multitasking abilities, quick access to information, and open-minded attitudes, Generation Z has significantly transformed teachings and learning process, directly influencing the educational landscape. Their characteristic demand instructional approaches that differ from previous generations. Prensky in 2021 identifies Generation Z as digital native, meaning they are native speaker in the digital worlds. As a result, Prensky asserts that instructional method incorporating technology, visual elements, and collaborative and flexible approaches are more likely to receive positive responses from these generations. However, Generation Z is not only present as learners, they have also begun entering the workforce, including the teaching professions. The phenomenon of young Gen Z teachers has become increasingly visible in the classroom, where they tend to introduce new approaches that resonate closely with students' experience. including informal language, media usage, and delivery methods. Gen Z tendency towards digital media enables closer and more personal relationship with the students. This aligned with the Similar and Grace 2017, who notes that this generation is more comfortable learning and communicating through visual and digital media and demonstrates a preference for established authentic engagements within educational environments. One notable phenomenon illustrating the emergence of Gen Z teachers is the trend on TikTok, POV Gen Z as a teachers, content on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Many young teachers share snippets of their classroom teaching activities, how they address their students, and the other moments in casual, humorous yet informative manners. This style reflects more inclusive, more hierarchical, and student-friendly approach. Often, students appear to respond more interactively to such that kind of teachers. This signifies a paradigm shift from the traditional model of teachers as information centers to facilitators of learning, and from being perceived as strict authority figures to being approachable educators. Nonetheless, despite their potential, Gen Z teachers still face challenges, particularly in ensuring students' consistent engagement in learning activities while maintaining professional authority. Student engagement is a crucial factor in the success of teaching and learning processes. When students feel more engaged and motivated, they tend to be more active in class, which ultimately enhance their academic performance. Conversely, a lack of engagement due to low motivations may lead to learning difficulties. To obtain an initial understanding of the research context, uh, the researcher conducted a preliminary studies consisting of interview and direct classroom observations at SMA Lab School Cibubur on the 22nd of May 2025. Interviews were carried out by asking several questions to 5 students from grades 10 to 11. Meanwhile, observations were conducted by entering one of the classroom during a session led by a Generation Z teachers. The result of the research of the interview and the observation indicates that the majority of the students felt more comfortable and interested when taught by young teachers from Generation Z. This was confirmed by a statement of 4 out of 5 students interviewed. They expresses that such teachers tend and to communicate more casually, more less rigid, and frequently use engaging in teaching media such as PowerPoint presentations, interactive quizzes, and educational games. This contribute to more relaxed and enjoyable classroom atmosphere. However, although the teaching approaches of Gen Z teachers were considered more aligned with students' characteristics, several student notes that not all Gen Z teachers could consistently maintaining students' engagements. 3 of the 5 students interviewed admitted that they're still feeling bored, unfocused, or sleeping during lessons. They attribute to these repetitive teaching methods that lacked active student involvement. Furthermore, observational data revealed that although digital media was used, some students remained passive viewers than the active participant in learning activities. Additionally, the researcher discovered that not all young teachers were capable of managing their classroom effectively. All interviewed students agreed that overly relaxed relationship between teachers and students sometimes led to be reduced discipline. One student mentioned that some teachers seemed indifferent toward certain students due to overly casual environment. These findings suggest that modern teaching styles and the use of technology alone are insufficient to ensure student engagement without well-planning activities and classroom management strategies. This finding highlights discrepancies with the theoretical perspective that posits teacher styles and teachers' creativity play a crucial role in enhancing student engagement. An interactive, flexible teaching styles that fosters two-way communication is essential. For instance, Gen Z teachers who utilize various voices variations, and eye contact, relaxed language, and active movement in the classroom are more likely to capture student attentions. Moreover, the creativity of Gen Z uh, in selecting and developing instructional media such as animated video, presentation, and interactive quizzes through platforms like Kahoot or significant increased student participations. Based on the background and phenomenon described above, there is a compelling need to further research on the influence of teaching style and creativity of Gen Z teachers on students' engagement in the classroom in order to fill existing knowledge gaps and determine the extent of which Gen Z teachers' teaching styles and creativity influence students' engagement. Based on the aforementioned background, the research question can be formulated as the first, is there any positive influence of the teaching styles on the student engagement? Second, is there any positive influence of teaching creativity on student engagement? And the third, is there any positive influence of both teaching style and teachers' creativity on student engagement? Based on the research question above, the objective to be achieved in the study are first, to identify the positive influence of teaching style on the student engagement. Second, to identify the positive influence of teachers' creativity on student engagement. And the third, to identify the positive influence of both teaching styles and teachers' creativity on student engagement. All right. Based on the research background, research questions, and objectives, the expected benefits of the study are the first, theoretical benefits. This research is expected to contribute the development of scientific studies in the field of education, particularly in understanding the influence of teaching styles and teachers' creativity in student engagement in the classroom. Theoretically, this finding of this research might enrich academic literature concerning the characteristic of the new generation of teacher, which is Gen Z, and more innovative and creative teaching approaches in the digital era. And then for the practical benefits, practically this result of this study can serve as a valuable considerations for various stakeholders, particularly schools, in developing teachers' professionalism, especially in design teachers' method and styling that aligned with the characteristic of today's students. Now we move to the chapter 2, which discuss the literature review. The first topic to be discussed is student engagement, which serve as the independent variable in the study. According to Kristanti and Chandana, 2021, student engagement refers to student participation in learning activities that involve emotional, behavioral, and cognitive dimensions, all which all of which can influence learning outcomes both academically and in terms of character development. And the indicator of student engagement as proposed by Frederick Blumenfeld and Paris in 2004 include attendance, active participants, task completions, sense of belongings, satisfaction and interest in learning experience, emotional relationship with teachers, attentions, learning efforts, and reflections. Now we process to variable X1, which is teaching style. According to Sukandi and Susilawati in 2023, teaching style refers to the approach used by teachers in delivering instructions, including how they motivate students, manage the classroom, and utilize both verbal and nonverbal communications. Several indicators of teaching style, as stated by Hasibuan and Mojono in Hasra et al. 2021, include voice variations, focus attentions, eye contact, body movement, and teacher positions damage. Next is the discussions of variable X2, namely teacher's creativity. According to Siburian et al. In 2023, teacher's creativity is defined as a teacher's ability to create specific conditions during the teaching process. This definition is consistent with the statement of Abdullah in 2017, who describes teacher's creativity as the ability of the teacher to create something new, and the combination of existing elements that is useful and understandable in the learning process. The indicators of teachers' creativity, as outlined by Colquitt et al. In Giffard et al. 2019, including the first, enjoying the process of learning new things, making efforts to discover better opportunities or methods in teaching, confidence in their work, and the last one, opens to discovering better and new ideas. Furthermore, I have reviewed several academic journals that present prior studies, and relevant research indicates the influence of teaching style and teachers' creativity of Gen Z educators on student engagement. The selection of this study was based on their relevance and variable under investigation in this research, which is teaching styles as X1, creativity for X2, and student engagement for variable Y. One example is a study entitled The Relationship Between Teaching Style in Physical Education and Student Engagement in Trade 4 at SD Al Waliyah dan Medan by Terhadap et al. In 2023. The linking theory used in the study is the teaching style theory by Moston and Ashworth in 2094, which defines teaching style as a systematic guideline or producer to design to optimize students' active learning times, including in physical educators content. Another relevant study is titled The Relationship Between Teachers' Creativity and Learning Environment on Student Activities at MEN Jajaran Bantul by Badria and Soliha in 2017. The Lincoln theory used in the study states that teacher creativity in the learning environments are categorized as external factors influencing students' activeness in the learning process. Teachers who are creative in selecting instructional methods and applying various techniques in delivering material are more likely to foster student participations. Although the comprehensive search has been conducted, it was found that no existing journal article precisely matched the title and the research focus of the current study, which simultaneously explores the variable of teaching style, teachers' creativity, and student engagement. This indicates that the topic addressed in this study remains relatively novel and has not been widely explored in the existing academic literature. Therefore, this study is expected to fill the existing gap in the literature and provide a significant contributions to the comprehensive understanding of the relationship among the three variables. Next, we have theoretical framework. This study employs student engagement as the dependent variable Y, which is influenced by two independent variables. namely teaching style for X1 and creativity for X2. First, regarding the influence of teaching style X1 on student engagement. This is in line with the previous studies conducted by Ziadinov and Sillars in Alit and Tejawati, and then we have Karin, Cahya, Kusumawati, and Umami and Monica and Hadi Winarto, all of which demonstrate a significant influence of teaching style on student engagements. An effective teaching style has been found to increase student motivations, encouraging them to participate more actively in the learning process. Second, we have the influence of creativity on student engagement. This aligned the prior research conducted by Arli Maufizar in 2021, Andayani and Hadiati in 2022, Badriah and Soliha in 2017, and then we have Mahrita and Cahyono for 2022, and Wulandari and Nasrina in 2023. These studies found that the higher of the teacher's creativity, the greater the level of student engagement. Conversely, low teacher creativity tends to result in lower student engagement. And the third, we have the combined influence of teaching style and creativity on student engagements. This is supported by previous studies conducted by Nur Alia 2017, Sani and Rahman 2022, and then Mumtazatur Rahman et al. In 2024, and then Ulfa et al. In 2024, which is they all states that the combination of an effective teaching styles and teachers' creativity is a key factor in creating meaningful learning experiences and enhancing student engagement. Based on the theoretical framework described above, the research hypothesis or research paradigm can be formulated as the follows. H1 means there are direct and positive influence of teaching styles on student engagement. H2 means there are direct and positive influence of teachers' creativity on student engagement. And then the H3 means there is a direct and positive influence in both teaching style and creativity on student engagement. This is the last one. This study was conducted at SMA Lab School Cibubur during the period from October 2024 to July 2025. The research employed a quantitative approach using the survey method to gather and analyze data. The accessible population in the study consisted of grade 10 and 11 students at SMA Lab School Cibubur who were taught by Gen Z teachers. With a total of 669 students from this population, a sample of 250 students was selected for analysis. And for the data analysis techniques, this research utilized statistical analysis through the statistical package for the social sciences, or we call it SPSS, software version 26.0. The data were analyzed during multiple linear regressions analysis to determine the effect of the independent variables, teaching style and teachers' creativity, on the dependent variable, which is student engagement. The conclusion of the research seeks to examine the influences of teaching styles and teachers' creativity on the students' engagement in the classroom. It is expected that the finding of this study will contribute more theoretically and practically in the field of education, particularly in developing more effective and relevant strategies for today's learners. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all parties who have provided guidance and support during the preparation of this proposal, especially my academic supervisor, examiners. Thank you for your attention and the opportunity to present my research. I look forward to any suggestions, feedback, or constructive criticisms, and that might help improve the quality of the study. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.